my job as a sports medicine and community medicine physician at Columbia Presbyterian, I have the responsibility of helping to guide others in making policy decisions regarding when to resume activities. As I look around, the weather is increasingly beautiful, and getting outdoors is something I still encourage, but I encourage you to keep a face covering handy in case a park that you're walking in, a path that you're on, becomes a bit more crowded. At 6 feet outdoors, the likelihood of spreading contagion is very low. If people are jogging or exercising, they're going to expel a bit more saliva mucus, which can contain virus. And so we encourage those folks to wear a face covering when they're passing by others, and they can safely remove that or lower it when they're not near others. As far as where we are in terms of numbers, the important thing to know is that New York became the epicenter of the world with the most confirmed cases, the most number of deaths. But we still have a very significant number. And if you just think back to early March when we began this isolation, you'll remember that it wasn't that many cases that were known that led us to shut everything down. We had a few cases at the hospital, maybe a dozen or so identified, confirmed cases, and we started to think about shutting down. We still have hundreds of confirmed cases in our geographic area alone. And our nation as a whole actually has an increasing number of cases every day. So while New York's social isolation strategy up to this point has lowered the rate of infection, understand this. I heard it said best when someone said the virus only cares about one thing: finding a host to replicate in. Everything after that is inconsequential. The virus doesn't think or care or have feelings like we do. It's not a cognitive animal that can plan its attack. Its only design is specifically so that it can get into a mucous membrane and then replicate. And so if we distance ourselves, the virus can't do that, and slowly and surely the virus will die out. What will happen if we don't do that? Well, in studying other pandemics, like the 1918 is the one most people like to quote, we know that the viral antigens, the proteins that the virus expresses, over time will change. What we also know is if we have not been exposed to a specific antigen, we run the risk of developing something known as cytokine storm, because your immune system reacts in a way that actually becomes detrimental. In this particular virus, coronaviruses are not new. This is the first pandemic with a coronavirus that we know of, but the virus will continue to replicate and antigens will continue to present in different ways over time. What is time? Time to you and me is days, weeks, and months. Time to a virus is millennia. These things did not evolve over the time that we are aware that they exist. We only know about viruses' existence for the past 100 or so years. The point is that the virus is not thinking about how it's going to infect you. It just will, and it will continue for as long as it exists on this planet. Like the flu, the coronavirus will mutate over time, but that time is not going to be weeks or months, not even a year. It will take a very long time. And in the meantime, it's our job to slow down the rate of spread until we have better treatments and possibly a vaccine. That vaccine won't be available for at least a year, according to most experts. So we really need to start to think about how we're hunkering down and what our strategy is going to be. This is not going to be a smooth process where we slowly get back to work and back to normalcy over the summer and everything will be fine. This is not meant to create panic. This is meant to create reasonable expectations. Instead of focusing on conspiracies and other things, there are awesome resources out there. In fact, Johns Hopkins has a course right now that's free for people who want to learn about contact tracing. The course is given at a level that anybody can appreciate and learn from. And not only that, you can get a certificate, which means that you can then become a contact tracer. And guess what? There's going to be a demand for jobs for contact tracers. So if I were at home and didn't have a job, that's what I would be focused on. The economy is going to change, your job is going to change, your small business is going to change. I've spoken with some great small business owners who have developed outstanding plans for remaining in business, home deliveries, changing product lines. You need to think along those terms. How are you going to function in this economy? Because the economy you were functioning in January and February of this year doesn't exist at this time, and it won't exist for some time to come. So today I want you to get outside, get some vitamin D, I hope, maybe tone down the social media, as I've said. I've been posting on my website, docbots.com. I'm posting on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. This way you don't have to scroll through the social media to find these videos. And leave some comments on the YouTube so that you can connect with us. Message me on Facebook or Twitter. Tell me what you want to hear about. I will get to it. But spend some time away from the social media when you can, and look for some great resources like the Johns Hopkins website that I just mentioned. And in the meantime, be well, be safe, and I hope to see you all soon.